In a quiet rural town in Montana, Ethan Carter moves into an isolated house hidden among dead trees after the sudden death of his wife, believing distance will numb his grief. But from the first night, something feels wrong, because every clock in the house is frozen at exactly 3:17 a.m. The air feels warm, as if the walls are breathing, and faint whispers echo through the halls, even when he stands perfectly still. And though he tells himself it is just stress, the bathroom mirror fogs up on its own and slowly writes the words, "You came back," which he wipes away while laughing nervously, unaware that the house is listening. And the next morning, an elderly neighbor named Mrs. Holloway warns him never to sleep in the master bedroom, because that room remembers men who never truly leave. And when Ethan asks what she means, she only stares at him and says the house keeps what it loves. And that night, Ethan dreams of walking through the same hallway over and over while unseen voices whisper his name, waking again at 3:17 a.m. with the sound of footsteps above him, even though he lives alone. And days later, curiosity pulls him into the basement, where he discovers old VHS tapes stacked neatly beside a wall covered in names scratched into the concrete, every name crossed out except one written fresh and deep: Ethan Carter. And before he can react, the television turns on by itself and plays a recording of a man who looks exactly like him, but older and terrified, screaming into the camera not to trust the house because it lies by giving you what you miss most. And as Ethan's sanity begins to crack, he notices his phone gallery filled with photos he never took, showing him living in the house for years, smiling at birthdays he doesn't remember, standing beside a woman who looks like his wife, but slightly wrong. And when he confronts Mrs. Holloway again, she finally tells him the truth, that the house was built over the remains of a burned asylum, where patients died, trapped and forgotten, and their regrets soaked into the ground, creating a place that doesn't kill people, but traps them in repeating lives, erasing their memories each time until they willingly stay. And as she speaks, Ethan hears his wife's voice calling him from inside the house, sounding warm and familiar, telling him she waited so long for him to come back. And when he sees her standing in the doorway, exactly as she was before dying, the house speaks through her mouth, saying he promised to stay this time, that this life could be perfect if he would just forget again. And when Ethan tries to escape, he finds the road looping endlessly back to the house, while his GPS shows no location, and the sky darkens unnaturally as doors slam shut behind him, forcing him into the basement, where the television replays every version of his past lives, dying in fires, falls, and suicides, each ending with him waking up once more at 3:17, and the house offers him a final choice: to forget everything and live happily inside forever, or remember the truth and disappear completely. And choosing to remember, Ethan sets the house on fire, smiling as the flames rise and the whispers scream in anger, believing he has finally escaped. But after the fire fades, the scene cuts to a bright morning where a new family unloads boxes into the same house, untouched and standing as if nothing ever happened. And as their young son wanders inside, he stops, stares at the wall, and slowly smiles as fresh words carve themselves into the surface, saying, "Welcome back," while somewhere deep inside the house, a clock begins ticking again toward 3:17 a.m.